So Rachel Zegler is banned from all Disney media properties, and Disney is the biggest media company in the world. It's no longer 1937, idiots. Rachel Zegler said that people will wait in line to see her no matter what. There's no one waiting in line. Yourself. Do you understand the levels of insufferable girl boss narcissist that has been reached here?
Rachel Zegler once stood poised to become the brightest new face of the Disney empire. She earned rave reviews as Maria in West Side Story, projecting star power beyond her years. From there, the leap to Snow White seemed inevitable, positioning her as the latest princess in Disney's live-action lineup. Yet, what should have been a triumphant moment turned volatile when her candid remarks sparked a cultural tug-of-war.
It's no longer 1937, idiots. This wasn't posted this month. This was posted 2 years ago.
That brusque line helped ignite a backlash that stunned even Disney. Zegler's modern spin on a classic princess, shooing a prince altogether clashed with devotees who saw the classic masterpiece as untouchable.
And the poster said, how many billions will Snow White cost Disney? Well, now we know that Disney will lose hundreds of millions of dollars.
Online, reaction videos and heated comment threads multiplied. In one especially biting rant, critics labeled Zegler a sign of woke overload, hammering away at her disrespect for the beloved fairy tale. Others championed her call for female empowerment, praising her desire to expand Snow White's ambitions beyond romance. The debate ballooned into a showdown between tradition and progress, with Zegler caught in the crossfire. Meanwhile, unfiltered opinions swirled around the internet.
Rachel Zegler said that people will wait in line to see her no matter what.
And everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
There's no one waiting in line.
Some used that remark to question whether her confidence crossed into arrogance. However people felt about it, there was no denying her interviews had lit a powder keg. Behind the scenes, Disney executives were concerned. The company depends on its loyal fan base, which loves the brand's pristine, nostalgic magic. Updating cherished classics is always a gamble, so they usually try to preserve the spirit of the originals. But Zegler's soundbites kept painting the classic Snow White as outdated. Fans erupted. Corporate higher-ups initially tried standard damage control, hoping minor clarifications would quell the uproar. Instead, the controversies stacked up.
She hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires and risk of the colleagues and crew, blue-collar workers who depend on that movie.
That accusation circulated across social media, amplifying public outrage and intensifying the pressure for Disney to step in. Then came the geopolitical twist. Zegler voiced her support for Palestine, placing her at odds with co-star Gal Gadot, known for her strong stance on Israel. What had been a debate over fairy tale updates suddenly veered into foreign policy territory. Industry watchers described it as a worst-case scenario, a kids' movie overshadowed by real-world tensions.
In a single moment, she turned a kids' film into a geopolitical controversy. They even canceled a $10 million Disney World event, and now Zegler's threatening to sue Disney for canceling appearances.
Disney quietly shuffled event schedules, scaled back media coverage, and refocused promotional efforts away from the brewing storm. But the damage had already been done. Fans saw the studio either muzzling their own lead or failing to manage an outspoken talent. As buzz grew, a producer's family member, Jonah Platt, son of Snow White producer Mark Platt, trailed against Zegler online, blaming her for potential financial losses. Critics seized on that drama as evidence of high-level frustration.
Disney execs have to be pulling their hair out, and they deserve this. Both are true. Disney execs are pulling their hair out because here's the Jonah Platt response on behalf of his family.
Some said the studio regretted casting her at all, but they had too much invested to pull out entirely. Rumors flourished that Disney cut her from future projects, and whispers abounded of legal threats akin to Scarlett Johansson's battle with the company. With no official word, speculation soared. Talk of Zegler versus Disney fueled countless YouTube videos dissecting every rumor. Meanwhile, her role in press events shrank.
Rachel Zegler has officially been benched by Disney. Snow White has become such a PR nightmare. The studio cut her out of her own press tour, and they pulled her mic entirely.
Entire premieres were canceled or scaled back, especially in Europe, while domestic talk show appearances vanished from schedules. Observers noted she was abruptly missing from the typical wave of junkets that precede a big release.
Rachel Zegler is apparently in such a toxic relationship with Disney that they're canceling her appearances on all Disney platforms.
That line captured the growing sentiment that her outspoken nature had become a liability. Some said she was reaping what she sowed. Others believed Disney was punishing her for speaking her mind. Either way, the atmosphere around Snow White was tense and uncertain. The next wave of coverage suggested even more chaotic moves by Disney. Reports claimed they shuttled Zegler to far-flung events with zero fanfare-y attempt to keep her off mainstream media's radar.
They shoved her into the far high hills of Spain to go sing a song in a language that nobody even understands.
That odd tidbit spread like wildfire on social networks, with fans calling it punishment duty. By then, the situation felt surreal, as if each new day brought a fresh twist, canceled appearances, suspiciously small promotional events, or more rumored friction among the cast and crew. For Disney, the once anticipated live-action project had become a minefield of controversies. As opening weekend loomed, the conversation took on a decisive edge. Would Snow White bomb? The film was rumored to have cost a fortune, and negative buzz on social media had turned relentless. Even some who'd been excited to see a modern princess transformation started wavering.
It started with her trashing the original Snow White. She called it outdated, mocked the love story, and basically told fans they were wrong for liking it.
That single statement, repeated again and again, became a rallying cry for those who boycotted the film in protest. Others labeled the backlash overblown, claiming the real issue was oversaturation of Disney remakes. Either way, it was clear the controversy would define the conversation around the new release. When the movie finally debuted to lukewarm box office numbers, everyone pointed fingers. Disney diehards insisted Zegler had single-handedly sunk it with her polarizing comments. Her advocates argued the film itself felt uninspired and was overshadowed by a swirl of negative marketing. Disney tried to stay neutral, praising their incredible cast while quietly curtailing further discussion.
Do you understand the levels of insufferable girl boss narcissist that has been reached here? Levels that we thought were fatal.
That rhetorical barb captured the sense of exasperation swirling through online fandoms. Many convinced she'd tarnished the brand's squeaky clean aura. Meanwhile, supporters believed the fiasco only underscored her bold willingness to stand up for progressive storytelling, even if it collided with old-school traditions. Social media channels churned out fresh commentary daily. Many of the film's defenders pointed to Zegler's heartfelt performance, praising her vocal talent and comedic timing. Still, the overarching narrative refused to budge was trouble for Disney.
Snow White 2025 isn't a film launch. It's a cleanup operation.
That pessimistic declaration circulated widely, painting the film as a misguided corporate move. Even as critics and viewers debated whether Zegler's portrayal was actually good, the overshadowing scandal made it nearly impossible for the movie to stand on its own merits. Disney's marketing machine, usually unstoppable, seemed unable to re-steer the conversation away from the star's controversies. Talk of a lawsuit lingered, though nothing concrete emerged.
Is Rachel Zegler suing Disney over the Snow White controversy? Are things getting toxic? This wouldn't be the first time this happened, by the way. Scarlett Johansson sued Disney.
Various rumor mongers insisted Zegler was either threatening to sue or being threatened by Disney, evoking parallels with earlier disputes. No official statements confirmed any such developments. Legal experts noted that if there were a contract breach, it would likely involve confidentiality or promotional obligations.
This is all that we could find with substantiation to the claims that Zegler is suing Disney. So, I mean, right now it's just pure speculation. But I would not be surprised. And it has happened before.
Still, the rumors alone kept fans guessing, fueling endless streams of insider info videos. And in the midst of all this, Zegler herself stayed quiet, seldom posting on social platforms, offering no major interviews, and generally disappearing from the public eye. Some took that as a sign Disney had silenced her.
Knowing that she was completely and totally toxic to fans, and knowing that eventually, well, there was going to be a nightmare that happens. And that nightmare is now here.
Others believe she was biding her time for a future comeback. As the dust began to settle, box office analysts tallied up disappointing numbers. Insiders claimed that while the movie might claw back some revenue through overseas markets and streaming, it wouldn't hit the stratospheric heights Disney once envisioned. Nobody could say for sure how much the Zegler drama impacted the final take, but many concluded it was a real factor. Some fans still insisted the film itself wasn't strong enough to succeed, controversies or not. Others found irony in a project meant to demonstrate a more self-sufficient Snow White, being dragged down by the very outspokenness it was designed to showcase. Meanwhile, all eyes were on Zegler's next move. Talent agencies whispered she remained a sought-after prospect. Her vocal range, acting ability, and potential to draw younger crowds made her an intriguing bet for future roles, provided she could avoid more explosive PR disasters. Still, questions lingered. Would major studios balk at hiring her after seeing how she'd become a magnet for controversy? Would Disney itself permanently freeze her out, or could fences be mended in time for a potential sequel? For now, no one knows. The only certainty is that her star, once shining bright, is clouded by the memory of a marketing scandal that dwarfed the film it was meant to promote. What began as a modern spin on a timeless fairy tale became a cautionary tale about mixing corporate branding with strong personal viewpoints. Some argue that if Disney wants to modernize its princesses, it should expect younger stars to voice modern beliefs. Others contend that actors stepping into legacy roles should respect the source material and the fans who treasure it. However one slices it, the saga has cemented itself as a major Hollywood talking point, weaving together fan outrage, geopolitical tension, big-budget risk-taking, and the unstoppable force of social media storms. In the end, it's uncertain whether Rachel Zegler will be forever defined by this fiasco, or if time will soften the conversation. Hollywood is a forgiving place, especially for those who deliver solid performances and can pivot to fresh projects. She may very well emerge from this storm as a stronger, savvier performer who understands the delicate balance between personal authenticity and the demands of a billion-dollar brand. As for Disney, they'll likely keep pushing out live-action remakes, but perhaps with a sharper eye on how their stars engage with the public. Whether Snow White stands as a lesson in caution or a mere blip in a long line of blockbusters remains to be seen.